Asia's richest man is hosting a wedding and the world must watch. As a fresh wave of PR and publicity hits the news cycle, what's striking about the Ambani festivities is what they signify. The wedding is a symbol, it uses a language of power and display. Indian royals, who were Asia's richest men in bygone centuries, would have understood it very well. For thousands of years, the marriage of two elite families has served to unite their interests. They might marry to end hostilities or to unite against a common enemy, or they might simply aim to bind themselves closer together. Medieval South India has plenty of examples. One of the most dramatic comes from the Deccan plateau in the 9th century CE. At the time, India's dominant rulers were the Rashtrakutas, a dynasty based in North Karnataka. They had a long-standing rivalry with the Ganga family around present-day Bengaluru. Around 850 CE, the Rashtrakuta emperor Mughals, who was praised by the Arabs as one of the world's 4 great kings, ordered his generals to crush the Gangas, and I quote, "Extirpate the lofty forest of fig trees, the Ganga country which is difficult to cut down." About a decade later, Mughals had 2 of his daughters marry Ganga princes, and the 2 dynasties became close allies until their extinction over a century later. Medieval marriages marked a prince's emergence onto the public stage. In the Yashastilaka, an epic Jain romance by a Rashtrakuta poet, the royal hero is married immediately after his coronation, and he parades to his palace on an elephant accompanied by his new queen. Further south, Chola royals traveled to give strategic gifts to temples. In their donative inscriptions, they usually mentioned their spouses' names. In return for this status as the super rich of the times, they needed to be publicly pious and visibly fulfill societal expectations. Now, maybe the Ambani merchant wedding is not a geopolitical or commercial alliance, but like medieval marriages, the couple carefully conforms to society's expectations and is helping launch Anant Ambani into the public consciousness. We are told, for example, the couple's love story, since love cum arranged marriages strike the perfect balance between tradition and modernity. Anant Ambani shares his health struggles on stage, accompanied by close-ups of his parents' reactions. We are told of his private sanctuary, which allegedly rescues animals. A Radhika merchant serves food to the public with her own hands. Just like medieval weddings, there's a lot that the Ambani wedding is presenting to its audience: conspicuous charity, temple piety, love, and health awareness. The societal expectation is fulfilled, so now the elite wedding is free to indulge itself with blinding glamour. The numbers reported for the Ambani wedding are staggering, to the point that it's difficult to find a medieval comparison, let alone a medieval equivalent. Medieval marriages were glamorous, involving the attendance of hundreds of lords and ladies housed in temporary cities of wood and cloth. Dozens of priests were hired, and fabulous gifts of gold, cloth, and imported animals were presented. Now, we don't have very reliable numbers from before 1200, but early modern India has better documented weddings. For example, take the marriage of the Mughal prince Dara Shikoh in 1633. According to his biographer Supriya Gandhi in this book, the total cost of the nuptials, including pearls, jewels, golden elephant howdahs, umbrellas, charity, utensils, tents, and textiles, was 32 lakh rupees. This works out to more than $48 million today. And reportedly, just the first of 2 Ambani pre-wedding bashes cost $151 million, including the ongoing bash off the coast of Italy and the actual wedding itself next year. The total cost will easily double or triple. And whatever you think of India's economic situation, it's sobering that India's richest man has already spent, quite easily, thrice the cost of a Mughal prince's wedding. And why are they spending this much? I'm sure we'll find out sooner or later. In the meantime, we can ask why pre-modern weddings were made into such spectacular occasions. For Dara Shikoh, according to Supriya Gandhi, the expenditure was a sign of Shah Jahan's fabulous wealth and generosity. 1 million lamps, fireworks in the shape of elephants, giants, and turrets extending for half a mile. Guests, and I quote, received sashes woven of gold thread, and the harem servants laid out for them a spread of flowers, betel leaf stimulants, perfumes, and an array of appetizers and fruits. These public affections, according to Mughal historian Munis Farooqi, were intended to bolster Dara's position as Shah Jahan's favoured heir, his senior most dignified son. Will Anant Ambani have a bigger role to play in the Ambani Group's future public profile? Medieval Indian kings would say, yes, absolutely. If you have questions or comments, we'd love to hear them. Follow us everywhere on social media. You can find me on Instagram at Anirudh and on Twitter at Kanisetti. We'll see you next week.